Yeah, please, Patience, where are you? And Stella Nyanzi, please come to stage and let's have a conversation about this very powerful and important film, also intimate film, and Natalia is coming as well. Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
This is a very special moment, I have the feeling. bin ganz berührt. Yeah, let's take it away with questions. Start just kicking in. When we had a conversation before the film a few weeks ago, a few days, and you were saying you met at the feminist gathering. Was that the first encounter? And then how from that encounter did you decide to make a film? Maybe you can take us on this journey.
So first of all, I had known about Stella in the news and, how the media represented her. And then I met her at this march against femicide in Kampala. And I remember being so shocked by how different she was from how she was portrayed in the media. I was like, this is a collaborative person, because the media were surrounding her and saying, talk to us about everything. And she's like, I didn't do everything. There's all these women here that came to talk about different things. So we sort of connected. And then fast forward to when she came out of jail in February 2020, she came to our home to visit people who had visited her in jail. And I remember that time, I looked at her and I told her, who is recording your story? Because she looked very frail. And I told her, honestly, I thought she wouldn't survive much longer. They were doing a lot of things to her. They had done, a lot to her in jail. And I was really worried that maybe she wouldn't last too long. And she was like, whatever, there's no story, leave me alone. But soon after, she decided to run for parliament. And I was like, there's no other time. We have to start now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you agreed?
I mean, yes. When Patience asked if she could record, I just thought, what's there to tell? But I was released from prison just before the corona lockdown. And I didn't realize the importance of the moment, because during corona, I don't know if you'd watched the elections in Uganda that time, we didn't have a campaign. So a woman who's come out of prison after 18 months, no money, lockdown, how do you campaign? And I think I was very glad that I allowed you to record me, and you had to go into the footage and get all those stories of when I was resisting that were recorded in the news, because what you came up with is an interesting moment of strength. A strong woman speaking with poetry and naked breasts in court, in prison, wherever. Mm-hmm. Because that is a specific moment of a sort of activism I was able to do. I mean, today my son is very tall. In the film, he was quite short. And I think that the years you captured were years of strength. I came to Germany and life has changed. I'm not fighting anymore, and I'm so tired, I'm so grown. My voice doesn't reach as far. So I'm very glad that Patience did the recording and she made the film. Thank you.
It's a gem, yeah. Thank you. And also quite, courageous in terms of activism and being out there in the political landscape, but also courageous in terms of being very intimate within the family and very close. Why did you decide to, why the decision to be also so much in the family, and how was it for you guys actually?
I'll speak on behalf of my siblings, because they're not here, but I think especially, and I'm the older twin, but I think especially for my brother and I, at that age, we dealt with like a lot of neglect, because we were 12 years old. Back then, we didn't understand, firstly, why it had to be our mom specifically, because there's like other families who have both she's the only parent who's been around for us ever since our grandmother passed. So we didn't understand like why her, why would she actively go out and do things that would get her taken away from us. But partly why this film was really important for us to have is now that we're a bit older, we can see it from her perspective and why she felt the need to speak up for not just us, but for everyone who couldn't do it for her, speak for themselves. And I mean, I don't think at 12 years old you could understand that. We felt like we were taking most of the damage, but she was clearly suffering too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in terms of not, like as my sister said, she thought at 17 she'd like leave mom and do her own thing. But I think having this film helps us understand her better and like why she had to do what she had to do. And also moving to Germany when we're away from all this stress has made us like become much closer as a family, I would say. So yeah, we're happy that everything happened the way it did.
Great. Yeah. And
I think for me as well, because as a Ugandan, in a colonized society where the forms of activism that Stella was engaging with were being portrayed as, oh, she's this crazy woman who just likes to shout and stuff. And I think I wanted to come to it from the point of view of she's an African woman who is, and she says it herself, like I don't have a lot of power, I don't have guns, I don't have anything. What I have is my body, and that's what I'm using to protest. And I think for a lot of activist films that I've seen, it's more about the strong person out there who's slaying dragons and doing all of this. And I think I wanted to do the film with her and the family because I think the family sees her differently. And I talked to the kids themselves. They were young, but she gave me a chance to speak to them independently. And she left the room before we started filming. And I did talk to them and say, this is a film that I want to make. I'm interested in your mom as a mom, not just as an activist that the media sees out there. I want to see her as a woman because I'm a mother myself now, and I know what it's like to be out there doing what you think you need to do as a feminist and as a liberated person or trying to seek liberation, but also what it means for your family, who's your support system, the people closest to you. It was very important to me that they are part of this story together, that she's not alone. Yeah.
makes perfectly sense. Yeah. And also to Natalia, bring you into the conversation. You are the German co-producer of the film, and just to let the audience know, how does that work? When is a German co-producer coming into the game? How did you meet? Just really briefly, how do this film production between Uganda and Germany work?
I mean, it was not the easiest thing to do. But so basically what happened was at the end of 2021, autumn 2021, Rosie Motene, who is the South African co-producer of the film, was representing the film, the project, at the Copro Market in DOK Leipzig. And patients couldn't join back then, but Rosie was representing the project, and I was there. I'm always there looking for projects. So we had a meeting. I knew nothing about Stella beforehand. I knew nothing about her. I've never been to Uganda. But I do work with a focus on women directors, and because of that, I work a lot with women's stories. So I was completely blown away by Stella's story and her energy, and also Rosie's energy. And then I had the chance to meet patients a couple of weeks afterwards in ITFA in Amsterdam, and that's how I decided I wanted to be part of it. But yeah, in terms of Ugandan, South African, German co-production, it's complicated. It's complicated. I mean, the good thing is that, and I think we're all very proud of it, that the film at the end of the day is 70% financed within the continent of Africa, not the European one.
Wonderful.
And I think that's great. But yeah.
Great, thank you. Are there already questions from the audience? I think it's always interesting to get engaged in a dialogue, and probably you have already something burning on your heart. Yeah, there are already 2 questions. Here comes the mic.
Okay. Yeah, first, thank you so much for this incredible film. I guess I have 2 questions about the filming process. You already talked a little bit about it, but maybe you could talk more about like the kind of time periods that you spend together over the song time, these like couple years, and like also maybe how your relationship, patience to like Stella and the family changed. And then I also had a question about the footage from the prison, because I don't know if I understood it correctly that you kind of like reenacted it. So maybe you could also talk a little bit about that, or how you like got that footage. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. The first question about relationship is that so I knew Stella a little bit. I didn't know the kids before the film. So we went for lunch at their house with my family, and we got to know each other a little bit. And in the beginning, we focused a little bit on the outside Stella's world. But again, like I said, it was my intention to make a film about the family. So I told them, I'm going to come and ask to be filming stuff. If you feel uncomfortable, please do tell me to stop, tell me to get out. So I would constantly, consent is like very fluid. I would always ask, is this okay? Can we film this? Can we film this birthday? No. Can we do this? Yes. So in the end, we got really, really close. And right now we are a very close family. I consider them my family. I got very close to Baraka first. The boys were very young and shy. But over time, I think after like a year or so, we were also really close. And also one of our producers is my husband. So my husband was also a very good friend of Stella, and he's very good with young people. I think he had his own relationship with them. And so when it comes to and he's over there, yeah. So, and he's actually the one who filmed the home videos in Munich, because I was having issues with my visa, trying to come over here. And we talked about it with Natalia. We didn't want to introduce a whole new crew to come to Munich and film with the family. It was a very intimate production. And so we decided, because Phil doesn't need a visa to come to Germany, he could come and have this very informal home video style kind of like filming with the family, where it wouldn't be intrusive. It would still be a face that they know and are comfortable with. Second question was about, the prison stuff. Actually, that is not reenacted. That is archive, which was so we were looking, we have a very interesting, very talented archive researcher who's a journalist from Uganda. And he's been looking for all these 6 years we've been making the film. He was just like looking for anything he could find about Stella, about, the stuff we were dealing with. And then he wanted to work with journalists who sell archive a little bit cheaper, because we didn't have money to go to a lot of TVs. And he found this journalist who had gone to prison to film something entirely different and found Stella there. And so this journalist filmed a lot of stuff that included Stella. And he was sitting on this. He's like, I don't know what to do with this stuff. And here we were making a film about Stella, and he basically sold us the rights to it. Yeah.
That's amazing. Ja, da war noch eine Frage.
Yeah, thank you. Great film. I just wanted to ask about the significance of the song at the end.
Which one? Oh. Look, there's the music. So, just to say very quickly that when they were making the film, I didn't treat them specially. They had to fit in with my schedule, fit in with my time, my activities. I wasn't acting. Patience was recording. Just a little bit about the enacted. When I'm wearing a prison uniform in my house, is that what you meant? In that case, so I stole a prison uniform because prison stole my baby. Don't ask me how, or we can't go into the ethics of it. But when I was leaving prison, I made sure I stole some things that people don't take out. And one of the things I brought with my visa to come to Germany is that prison uniform. I need to hang on to that. So the part where you're doing the interview and I'm in my house in the prison uniform was something totally different. I was doing poetry and Patience was there. So it's not an enactment for her film. She was recording, as usual, one of the things I was doing with my uniform, talking about the lives of imprisoned women, and she happened to be there with her camera. But about the music, all the music is very special, from Lacrimosa that starts, that was recorded by Mozart. My best music is death music, because there's so much death that happened in the film recording, from the loss of Patience's baby. to the loss that's recorded in the miscarriage. But the last song, I don't know if you mean the one I sing or the real last song of the twins. There's the twin music with the little xylophones playing. Ah, that's the one that I sing. Okay, so I'll tell you a little bit about the very last one that is it's twin music. In my culture, twin mothers are superheroes. I'm not like all of you. I'm not human. I'm a demigod. That's why I produce two where others produce one. But that's what they believe in my culture. And I am allowed to profane and to walk nakedly because I'm a demigod in my culture. And I can swear at presidents and get away with it. But in society that's democratic and, we don't do that. But the song I'm singing about in Sanji, my little child with my breast, it's among our folklore. When we have legends, we sit together. Today is Mother's Day, Happy Mother's Day. We sit together as mothers, as grandmothers, as elderly people with our children and tell stories and we sing. We don't come from a literature background, we come from orature. And so the song about the breasts is a song that mothers ordinarily sing to their children at a time of separation, just before menstruation. And I'm singing. Patients didn't have music that was enough to back the things about buying and rights about music. So she said to me, I was in Germany, can you record this song? Can you record some traditional music? And I said, what music? I haven't sung in a long time. And my daughter said, oh, Mom, of course I can record you on my WhatsApp. And so I'm singing the song remembering that we never had this moment of singing Sanji to her. It's about children growing up, mothers and daughters, I'm about to leave you. I don't think at the time of recording we understood the import, but I love how you put it just before we leave Uganda. And thank you for recording it with my phone, with my broken phone. My voice is breaking because every time I watch it, it's special. I was saying bye to Uganda. I was saying bye to my children. And I'm glad you raised the question because most people don't get it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's another question.
I need to hold it.
Oh, sorry, yes. My name is Mrukbe Laja, and I'm very, very much honored to meet you, Dr. Nyanzi. First of all, I want to say thank you also to the director, Ms. Mitum Weziga, for capturing all these emotions and being so open with that. My feelings have been shifting from laughter to sorrow and also to depression because I felt a lot of sorrow. And I felt the trauma you have gone through, but also the resilience. And yes, it's a great film. Thank you to all of you. And my question would be, since you have been in Germany, what role has writing been in your life? Are you still writing? And yes, that's my question.
So I'm a writer. I went to prison for writing. I write a lot. And I think I came to Germany under the Writers in Exile program of PEN Germany, and I came to write. And I'm so glad I had a house with a desk. You see the room in the film where my daughter is saying, I want to come share a room with my mother, yeah. But I had a desk, and I had a typewriter, and I had paper, and I had time to write, a place of my own, a room of my own to write. I've been writing. I write about Uganda. I write about Germany. I think your question was, what role does writing play? I am allowing myself to release those emotions you felt, all of them, and the ones you didn't identify, very personally. Sometimes I publish, sometimes I don't. I've published a book. I've published books of poetry, but I had a book on exile, a book in poetry translated into German. It's doing very well, published. And so I'm still writing both creatively about Germany, about the world, but also about Uganda. Uganda is important to me. I still write about home. I write against the dictatorship. And in Germany, I can write anything and get away with it. They won't arrest me from Uganda. I try hard not to get into problems with the German immediate host community, but I'm writing. That's what I live for. So to stop me from writing, to punish me from writing, was not acceptable. And so in Germany, I can write. I have sort of a new lease on life to write, and I appreciate. I just don't write in German language as yet, which is a bit of a problem.
Nigerian feminist, you are a great role model, and
Thank you very
keep on
much.
doing.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
There was another question in the back. I'm afraid we do not have too much time left, but we can continue.
They could ask questions and we don't answer. They could say what they want to say. Is that allowed?
Yeah,
That
sure.
we don't respond and they just speak?
Yeah, totally.
Thank you so much for this wonderful film. As a person coming from the African continent, I feel like it's important that we have these stories told honestly, and I cannot thank you enough for the work that you've done. I know it was not easy, because I've also done a protest film that is going to also screen in the afternoon. Hopefully all of you will come. It's called The People Shall. But my question to Patience is, how has this film been received in Uganda, and have you guys screened it at all? Are you planning to do any of that? That would be my question.
Thank you so much. We're in the process of trying to get the film to Uganda. At the moment, we're just starting our African premiere. We actually have our African premiere in June at Encounters in South Africa. So that will be the first festival on the continent. And then after that, we hope to slowly go up to East Africa and then find a way to show it in Uganda. It's very risky, especially for the members of the team who still live in the country. So we're trying to find ways around it to show it without putting them in harm's way. Yeah.
Okay, da war noch eine Frage, die würden wir noch nehmen. Wo war die jetzt? Oh, okay. Leonard, yeah.
Okay, all right. So first of all, thank you so much. Thank you for the whole team. Thank you for DOK Forums and DOK.fest to show us this movie. Maybe it's a kind of a comment made as a question as well. Like, I really love the authenticity of the movie. We know that I'm a researcher and I'm researching a lot of activism movie, and sometimes to have a dignified version of activism, we need to commodify a little bit the narrative to fit to European audiences. But I really love the way the movie is raw. The movie is really also playing with the convention. I love that we don't need the shot with a shot, that sometimes you sit us in discomfort in very long sequences when we can just be in the collective and in the space. I think it's really amazing. And I love that we follow your rhythm. I love that your poetry blend with the editing of the movie. So I just want to say, like, I hope that we watch more movies like that, because the European audience is really ready to watch it, and we don't want any commodified narrative around African activism. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Maybe one last question for you up here from my side. So you said it was a moment of strength at that time, and now you were tired when you left, but also, are you still tired? Or you said you are writing also against Uganda right now, or the situation there. So what is your activism right now? I mean, your activism would be to show the film in Uganda, kind of?
So my activism is many things. My first activism is to mother my kids well. I mean,
Yeah.
you saw the sort of trauma. I think you touched on the trauma. There was a lot of things. I was doing things for Uganda and not doing a lot for my children, especially when I was in prison. And when I came out of prison, I was very tired. So my first activism is my motherhood. They're going away. Look, they're going away. They're so tall, I can't reach them anymore. And then my other activism is really about LGBTIQA plus rights, because in my because in my country in 2023, you know, we had the new law, and it still has the death penalty. And for me, as a knowledge producer, I get 20 years in prison maximum, not for being a lesbian, not for being a gay man, for writing knowledge that normalizes queer people. So we still have to talk about the issue, even when it's been overheard. I think the other issue for me is that Dictator Yoweri Museveni won the elections in my country this year in January. And next week on Tuesday, On the 12th, he's swearing in as president for the next 5 years. And when I say that I'm tired, Barbara, what I mean is it's 5 more years of the same rough activism you identified very well. Our activism is not smooth and neat and tidy. It's outside the textbook. How do we innovate? How do we re-energize ourselves? How do we allow more filmmakers to work with us because we are so fragmented? So part of my activism that I can do safely in Germany is to ask for hope. To ask for hope. People say to me, how can we start again? What can we do? And they look to diaspora for safety, for safe answers. But like I said, I have no answers. I'm tired. And so part of my activism now is to find hope for myself and then share it. But it's also a quest in Germany. Give us hope. Allow us to look for hope together. To tell the world, where is hope? Is it in film? Where is hope? And I think it's not just a Ugandan question, it's also very much a world question today. There are so many things that make it hopeless, but I think my resistance and my activism now is to say we still can. I was poking leopards, maybe I can kick something with my pen. So my pen is the new poke, like innovate resistance, I guess is the word, So I haven't given you an answer that's, it's very personal, it's also very political. And there's a cause for LGBTIQA+ rights. Women's rights is at the core of what I do. But I think in terms of urgency in Uganda, all these things are interlinked. So lots of work, busy.
Still going.
Must go until we die.
We have to go on.
Until we die, even when we're tired and old.
Yeah. Let's do it. So... let's continue the conversation in the afternoon at 4:30.
Thank you very much.
And you're all welcome to the film at 3 and the discussion. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Barbara.
Sure. Thank you.